Hello everyone, my name is Vincent Guillot, owner and founder of Denmark Travel Concierge, here to share with you all the tips, tricks, and information for those USC fans heading to the USC versus Notre Dame football game on October 18th, 2025. This is SkyVector Aeronautical Charts website, a website where pilots can see where different airports are and different fuel prices and stuff. As you can see here, South Bend is over here, Chicago is over here. So I'm going to show you the two main airports for flying into Chicago. You have KORD, or just ORD, also in Chicago here. Down here, KMDW, or just MDW, which is Chicago Midway. So it's about $9.58 a gallon at O'Hare for 100 low lead, and $8.47 a gallon for 100 low lead at Chicago Midway. Also in Chicago, for those GA pilots, you have Chicago Aurora, Chicago DuPage, Schaumburg, Village Lake in the Hills. I believe that's just a small private airport. You can PPR to land there. Pewaukee or Chicago Executive. Looks like you have Bolingbrook's and then Gary. Making sure I got everything. So if you're flying into Chicago, the two major commercial airports, as you know, are O'Hare and Midway. Midway is a Class Charlie airport and is home to the Southwest and a lot of those airlines. Southwest has a hub at Midway, and then O'Hare is United hub, as well as some American Airlines, has some major presence in there as well. Now, to get into the city, there are several ways. You can bus, taxi, CTA. Well, first we're just going to talk about the CTA, which is what I plan on doing, because I plan on arriving earlier before family does. So CTA is right here. The blue line stops right at O'Hare, and it's $5 for a day pass, gets you right on in, down into the city. And the orange line gets you down into the city. And over here, it's what's called the loop. As you can see, the lines make a loop before they go out to their respective directions. So go over here to the downtown insert. So down here at Monroe, right down here in the Clinton station is going to be where basically is the closest station to Union Station. I believe it's Monroe or Clinton is one of the stations close. Clinton is closest to Union Station, so Amtrak, Notre, etc. So if you're going to where USC stuff is, if you want to transfer at Jackson from the blue line to the red line, we're going from Midway. You want to transfer, you can transfer at Lake, or you could also transfer at Harold Washington Library and then go to Jackson, which this dashed line means basically you walk outside of the fare gates and then you go to the next fare gates and it counts as a transfer and knows that you're doing a street transfer. So then you want to take the red line up to Chicago, because that is where everything happens, is in the Magnificent Mile. We'll go over to the Magnificent Mile here. I'll go back to that later. Magnificent Mile over here. You could also go to Grand. Could also go to Grand. Also go to Chicago on the Brown line, but the brown line, it's further away. Take the red line, Chicago. And now here is the Park Hyatt Hotel. This is where I usually stay. And then Trojan Central is going to be right over here at the West End, Michigan Avenue. And then a lot of people also like to stay here at the Drake, which is a Hilton Hotel, or the Hilton Chicago Magnificent Mile. So West End, Michigan Avenue is usually Trojan HQ, or it's where everything USC happens. So where the pop-up bookstore is, it's where alumni pick up their credentials for specific events they're going into, etc. And then down here is the Navy Pier. This is where the pep rally happens. And now that you kind of have a sense for everything is, let's get back to the airports. So we went over the CTA and how to get to where everything is. The next thing is taxi. Taxi is going to be your easiest. You just take a taxi, they come out front. I forget the price, but get you right in there. Just note that certain times of day you come in, there is rush hour traffic, with it being Chicago, and also especially if there's a Bulls game going on, you know, or Chicago Blackhawks game, because you do go by United Center on the highway. And then you won't have to worry about football because it's Sundays, or unless there's a Thursday night game, but they're, you know, away. And then the only thing you might have to worry about is possibly Major League Baseball. If for some reason the World Series is there, but those are guaranteed rate field. And then also our Wrigley Field are in two opposite areas of the city. So once you've gotten and checked in, you want to hang out some events. So after you've done a Trojan HQ and gotten your stuff and it's a Friday, you want to make a reservation at either Hugo Frog House or Gibson's. They are two very great steak restaurants. They both have bathroom attendants. So if you want like your matches, your aftershave, etc., they have those. And they are some of the best places to the best restaurants. And then over here is the Lodge Tavern. That is a bar where a lot of fans like to hang out. So over here, you can see over here, this is the Bar Central, the East Division. That's where a lot of people go during the games or before the games. So pretty much everything along here, there'll be flags with different colors for usually when the teams come in. Some bars are loyal to Notre Dame. Some bars are loyal to, obviously, the Fighting Illini, and some are just loyal to the visiting teams that come in. So on a Friday, what you're going to want to do is come down here to the Navy Pier. Navy Pier, this is where the pep rally happens. It's usually around 12 o'clock, 12:30ish. Rain or shine, they do have a Margaritaville on here. And then there's a few other restaurants, and then some of the museums. And then if you all remember a reciprocal club with Chicago Yacht Club, their Monroe Station is just right here. This is a perfect place to go. I did this last year. It was raining. And we saw some of the pep rally hung in the Margaritaville, came here, had an excellent meal. I'll talk about those with reciprocal club access to, I'll tell you how you can access that club in a moment. So they have two stations, the Monroe Station down here, and they have another station up there, which is the Belmont Station. So now you can see the distance. It's sort of very close. It's kind of near the Chicago Institute, and the Bean is over here. If you haven't seen the Bean, it's a worthwhile visit. So let's talk about how you access Chicago Yacht Club. This is one of my favorite yacht clubs. If you look on their website right here, as you can see, their burgee is very similar to my home club, San Diego Yacht Club, except, you know, it's very similar. What you want to do is go to chicagoyachtclub.org/visiting-yachtsman. This is very crucial. It's not like a yacht club in your city. For instance, you know, I'm a member of San Diego Yacht Club and I want to go over to Southwestern Yacht Club. Cool, I just walk over there, show them my card, I can go have a meal, and then pay my bill and go home. No, it's not like visiting another yacht club in your town. You need to have a letter of introduction sent. So Most yacht clubs require this, although some are more relaxed and just require your updated yacht club card with usually a sticker that says when it expires, but pretty much you have to send a letter of introduction or LOI to front desk at chicagoyachtclub.org. And then you fill out this form below. Union League Club Chicago reciprocal members can fill out this form, and this is for dock reservations form, and then contact front desk at chicagoyachtclub.org. For this one, the ending 777 gets you to Monroe Station, ending in 75 gets you to their Belmont Station. So once you do, you're going to want to fill out this form about a couple weeks before you arrive, or the week of your arrival. You fill out the form. And slip rentals are $3.75 a foot. Fill out this form if you need a slip. So first name, last name, phone number, email, street address, everything. And then what yacht club are you a member of, or a home club if it's not a yacht club like Union League Club. Make sure you click Monroe Station, arrival date. It means the date you're arriving. So if you arrive on Thursday and I want to go there for dinner on Thursday and then go there for lunch on Friday. Okay, good. You put arrival Thursday, and then it's best to put leave on Sunday because then you have the whole weekend. So, it's best to have the whole weekend. If you're just going there Friday, you could just put Friday or just do till Sunday, because then you're going to, so then you may go there on Sunday. And if you are, when you're requesting your letter of introduction, put the dates you're going to be in Chicago, because then, okay, cool, I'm going to be here from these dates to these dates, but I might actually only visit the club these days, and that way you're covered. Departure date is when you leave, and then the notes required field, you click I'm not a robot, do the reCAPTCHA stuff, and then submit. It's a very nice place to go for lunch if you're a reciprocal member. I'm sending the yacht club as reciprocal, and if a lot of other yacht clubs do, just remember to check your reciprocal clubs list prior to make sure that you are on there and you have reciprocal club privileges with them. And if you don't, you could always call them directly saying, hey, does my club have reciprocal privileges with you? I just wanted to check. I'm having trouble getting to our list. Can you check yours? Sort of thing. So then, once you've done that and you have lunch, just hang out around. There's plenty of restaurants to go to, like I mentioned, Hugo Frog House or Gibson's. Those are great places to go. I recommend going on Friday because Thursday's the day you're getting there. Maybe you eat somewhere just close by to your hotel or something. There's Italian. There's a lot of stuff here. If you're looking for the Chicago hot tub, go to Jim's Originals. That is a great place to go, Jim's Originals. And then Friday night, let's say you're a member of an invited club. There is one inside of Chicago. I'm going to find it for you here. And that is located in the Willis Tower. Which the Willis Tower is right here, and the club is called the Metropolitan. So this club right here is called the Metropolitan. It is an invited club, so if you're a member of clubs, I'll use an example, couple examples. So Norbert Country Club, University Club atop Symphony Towers, let's see, Mission Hills Country Club, Columbia Tower Club, Rancho Mirage Country Club, the City Club Los Angeles, etc. If you're a member of those clubs, then you'll have access to this. Just make sure to call the club line to make sure you have access to that club, and they'll tell you your benefits. And then this is very important. I cannot stress this enough. You will not be able to access the club if you don't do this. Please call the club concierge at 312-876-3200 the day of you going to dinner or drinks. For instance, Friday, we did this. Last time I went, we did this Friday morning around lunchtime. Okay, and I'm going to dinner that day. You call this line, you have to give them the names of any guests. So basically you say, hey, my name is X. I'm a member of Club Y, and I have, me and guest Z are all going, we need to be put on the elevator access list, and we have a reservation at such and such time. Okay, you have to tell them your full name, or usually it's just your first and last name, but they may ask for a full name. Make sure to spell out your names correctly, because they could mess it up. So if you need to be like, okay, my last name has SCZ, but they might just put SZ and forget the C. You gotta spell it out, but it's best to spell it out for them. Then when you go in, you have to go check in at the Willis Tower security. They'll give you a little light blue, square piece of paper with your name. It says guest of or visiting, I'll say Metropolitan Club Inc. It'll have a little QR code. You then proceed on to follow the security guy. You go through security. You just take everything out of your pockets, pass through a simple metal detector. They'll then point you to the elevators and tell you what floor it's on. This is also the headquarters of United Airlines. So I'm pretty sure if they're nice enough saying, hey, I'm a huge United fan, could I take a photo in front of the sign? They might say yes, they might say no. But you have to go through security, I know, and then you go up to the club. So now, once you've done all that, it is game day. You're wondering, how do you get to the game, where to get tickets, all that stuff. I'm going to get to that in a moment. So now I'm going to briefly go back to the airport to talk about bus to the city. Now, a reason I'm doing this now is you could also use this to get to South Bend. So there is a company called Peoria Charter run by a YouTuber named Motor Coach World, and it also has a second channel named Jay Wang, but his real name is James Wang. He is the owner and CEO of Peoria Charter. Go check out his videos, they're awesome. But this company is based in Chicago. They're actually based out of Peoria, and then they have a base or a depot in Champaign, Urbana, and then one in Chicago, and like I said, Peoria, where it was started. So they do line runs. So for instance, if you live in, Peoria or Champaign, Urbana, which Champaign is the home to the Fighting Illini, and the USC does play the Fighting Illini in Champaign. So you could fly into Champaign, or you could fly into Chicago and take their bus service. But they also do charters, because like I said, Peoria Charter. So you could charter them, say, hey, I want to charter the bus from the airport to my hotel, and then the hotel to my game. Obviously, you can do that. You just have to give them about how long they need to stay in South Bend. Okay, the other way, and one of the coolest ways, non-sponsored by the university, is going to be the Irish Express. This is run by Game Day Your Way, and this is unique and specific. All they do is Chicago, South Bend, Chicago. That's all they do. It's by Game Day Your Way. That's all they do is South Bend, Chicago. All they do is take you to South Bend and back. And if we look at Game Day Your Way, an unforgettable game day experience is waiting for you. Game Day offers everything you have a stress-free weekend to see your favorite team. Obviously, they have a couple destinations. They do Soldier Field, Notre Dame, and Madison. Let's take a look at the Madison one to see what this is. Oh, that is Wisconsin. Tailgates, transportation, catering, and tickets. This is what they specialize in. You can buy tickets from them. They are 100% verified through them. So let's go back to the Irish Express. So this is how much it costs if you're buying a bus for your buddies. It's 50 passengers is $9,000. 35 is $7,750. 20 person, $5,750. 12 person is $4,500, and it puts the approximate per person here. You could charge more, you could charge less, but they give that option for you. You know how much to charge if you're having people. So, approximately 2-hour drive from Chicago to South Bend, depending on traffic. Charter a private vehicle for your group for the day. You get up to 13 hours of service pickup in the Chicago Metro area in the morning, drop off in the evening. Parking pass is not included in the prices, however, we can add one for just west of Chemist or $300 per vehicle at Holy Cross College. I'll explain where they pick up where everything is, because this is where I remember them having it last time I was there. So you can see you get pickup location within the Chicagoland area, as well as I set up to 11 hours of service. Private bus for your group. Round trip to and from Notre Dame. Luxury motor coach with bathroom. A full service bar. Service with bartender both ways. Beer, seltzers, whiskey, vodka, rum, gin, soft drinks. Snacks provided for the trip back. When we went, it was Chick-fil-A. And then they have this. And it's the same thing. You can also add on their tailgate too. So usually what they'll do is you can talk to them and you can add on the tailgate. So usually they'll ask you, hey, do you want the tailgate? It's best to add it on because you don't have to worry about food when you get there. The tailgate included. When I went, you want to search up LaSalle Council Scouting America. Well, previously, Boy Scouts, but now it's called Scouting of America. Well, basically this is where the bus is parked. Right here. And then they used this, area over here for the tailgate. And then buses, and then then basically, so a couple Boy Scouts would come through later selling popcorn. I recommend you buy it because, save it for the ride home if you don't want Chick-fil-A, or if you want to, enjoy it while you can't, or enjoy it while you, just to enjoy it. You can also get the microwavable popcorn too. This is Holy Cross College. Let's look to see where Holy Cross College is, because this This is what I'm here for, to show you everything. See here, that is north, that is west of where it is. So it says here, it is. Main office is in Colfax, South Bend, Indiana. If you have questions, there's the phone number. But 1317 West Angela Boulevard. So they either might have moved it, but usually when I went, it was LaSalle Scouting Council, because they basically rent a parking lot for the buses to park, and then they have a grass area where they have the tailgate. So they might have moved it, but most likely it'll still be the same place. LaSalle Council, you can see it's right over there. I don't think they would have, I think that's just a place for buses to park if there's not enough room here. And you can leave your stuff on the bus, like, if you're like, okay, while you're at I need to go grab my clear bag, but then I'm bringing this backpack with all my accessories and stuff. You can do that. Now that we talked about this way, the next way is going to be directly through the university. So these are what's called children huddles, and it's powered by the Alumni Association. I'm just going to show you one, which was this one, University of Maryland. This was last year. This is the one. I went to the game. It was the inaugural meeting, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. As you can see here, they have USC bookstores pop up in DC, children family reception, and the children huddle. So usually they run a train sponsored, chartered on what's called the South Shore Line, which is a electrified commuter rail line between Chicago and Notre Dame. They do run enhanced service during during the game days to get fans from Chicago to Notre Dame is a little slower than charting directly with them, than doing the alumni train. So you'll buy tickets on here with your Fight Online account, and then they always will have a bookstore, so it'll say bookstore or USC blah blah blah. It'll say, you know, either Western Michigan Avenue or tell you where it is. And then it'll say Trojan Huddle, blah blah blah. So that's basically the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do for, you know, if you want to be with USC fans. You can book a car, just talk to the Alumni Association ahead of time. Like, if you have like 30 guys and you want to all be sitting together, you could say, hey, you know, like, hey, all of us 30 guys are going, could we possibly reserve a car or just get, you know, have 30 tickets, you know, and then they could work that out with you. There's a similar one for University of Washington. Seattle Trojan Network reception with USC Marshall and Leventhal Rainier Club. Trojan Marching Band Alumni Mixer. Old Stove Brewing. Trojan Huddle. Stout Brewing Capitol Hill. And then Las Vegas Bowl C Fremont Straight Experience. Tommy's Tavern, Lathan Stadium, and Las Vegas Bowl. And then US game tickets are available at USC Ticket Central. Usually it's Trojan Athletic Fund members usually can access them. Sometimes you can buy tickets through them, but it's very limited. Usually you can get maximum of 2 seats. So it's best to book directly with the university. Now for the game, it's going to be sold out. Spain's pretty much going to be sold. It's not like it's not going to be like what it's already. It's not going to be like what it's already, you know, May, and I can't even get tickets. What I'm trying to say is that basically tickets are going to be expensive, and they're going to sell out instantly. They're going to sell out with the university. I talked to the university's ticketing office. They said that by the time single game tickets will go on sale, tickets will be sold out. So it's best to check SeatGeek, which is the official resale partner for Notre Dame, because they use PacIoLAN, which is the same that USC uses. And then StubHub is also another good verified one. A lot of people use StubHub, so check those. And then Vivid Seats, I've seen advertisements for that. Vivid Seats, and then, you know, Game Time or TickPick, just be careful with those ones. They're very good. Those are very good for baseball, because it is MLB has this thing called authorized retailers, where basically, you know, they've gone through a vetting process, they've authorized that retailer to sell tickets. The next one I'd recommend is Atlas Ticket Sales. It's a ticket broker agency in San Diego, located right by the sports arena. You know, they're small, but they have a website and they have access to lots of tickets. So, you know, the ticket brokers. So I've bought Padres tickets from them. They are verified, so that'd be another good place to buy tickets from. But just be aware, if you buy tickets from, for instance, like TickPick, or, you know, if you buy tickets from like TickPick or whatever, or Game Time, they might take you to like, you know, secure.tickets or something. It's just a website. It's usually like, you know, it's just a website, and the tickets are legit. So then the next thing you're going to want to do after you buy your tickets is make sure you have a Fighting Irish account. Download the Fighting Irish app, create your account for the app, and then your ticket account, and then they'll be sent to you. That way you should get an email saying they've been transferred, and add them to your Apple Wallet, and it's easy to get in. Okay. Now that we've talked about that, there's one more thing I'd like to show you. Is if you get to the game early, want to get there early, make sure to visit some of the stuff, you know, like the mural over here, and then it's, you know, or go to visit the cathedral on campus. And if you're taking the Irish Express bus, you just walk back here. They'll take you right back to Chicago, and they pretty much do any Chicagoland hotel. So it could be, it could be the Western Michigan Avenue. It could be the Drake. It could be, you want to make sure you do, And they will have I'm pretty sure, if I remember, they will have a list. So you could ask them, say, hey, could you do a list? Here's everyone that's going with me on the bus. Could you do a list? And then they could probably have a list for you, then help to make sure, you get on your bus and stuff. The bartenders are pretty cool. They got, alcohol on board. So, it's a lot of basic stuff. Beer, wine, basic stuff, it's full bar, beer, seltzers, whiskey, vodka, rum, gin, soft drinks, so it's usually just standard stuff. It's usually standard stuff like, Coors Light, Modelo, etc. But I'm pretty sure if you wanted a certain thing that, you could probably ask them to have it. And I'm not sure I think you can bring it on board, but I don't know the ruling on that. So you'll have to ask them. And then bus drivers are really nice. The last bus driver we had was actually a Notre Dame fan. He was taking USC fans. So if you have any other questions, you can contact me on my website, vinmartravelconcierge.weebly.com. You can email me at vinmartravelconcierge@gmail.com, or my personal, which is Vince, V-I-N-C-E, my last name, G-H-I-O, @gmail.com. You can also call me on my cell, 619-602-6491. My Google Voice number, which is 619-929-0218. And you could also DM me on Instagram. I'm running a promo right now for 50% off any USC fans going to the game, whether you're alumni. If you're an alumni or a student, you get 50% off. My service fee of $25 at $12. It would be $12.50, but I don't care about the 2 quarters. So it's $12. I hope you plan to book your trip. Next thing, so the next thing I was going to say was that if you have any questions like about how to get there, I'll doing it free of charge. So like if you're wondering is there a bus from here to here that you have a question, you have further questions on the bus or stuff, or on the bus or stuff, or how to get tickets, that'll do free. I'm just free of charge. I'll just DM me on Instagram at @VinmarTravelConcierge. I helped someone a while ago. I'll be like, okay, here's the bus, here's how you book it, blah blah blah, here's the info, so on and so forth. And then here's my mailing address, 1220 Rosecrans Street, number 123, 792-106. So if you did want to send a check, obviously you could send it to here. You could obviously send it to here if you wanted to. So, this is my contact, but I also put my business email and stuff on there. If you have any other questions regarding USC versus Notre Dame, feel free to hit me up. I can also help you book your other trips. I got a list for my hometown of San Diego if you need a Google Maps list of things to do, or we got a thing of restaurants, thing for hotels. And I'm also going to pour links on here too. Like I'll update this. I'm going to keep updating the page. So I'll update this page periodically. You got your global entry link, link for Luau in San Diego, and then especially helpful for those if you're going to UK or Europe and you need your ETA or your EITAS. I have these 2 links there to help you with your applications. So remember to like, share, and subscribe on this video. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me on my website or with the contact details I mentioned. And just fight on, fellow Trojans. And if you have, like I said, any questions, feel free to contact me. And also, don't forget to watch USC baseball as they made it to the Big Ten playoffs. Went to the game earlier today at Great Park. They won 10-3. So remember to keep an eye out, especially on the Alumni Association website for when the train tickets come out and all the information for Trojan Central, because the train, I know, is going to sell out. So I just want to make sure that you get everything make sure you get that squared away. But yeah, buses should be easily available because I just charter from a charter company. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll be here. Yep, I hope this video was very informative with you going to Chicago. If you have any questions regarding the yacht club or Metropolitan Club, just hit me up free of charge. Just go ahead and hit me up if you have any questions on the steps again on how to do that. So once again, like, share, subscribe, and yep, I will see you in Notre Dame. Peace, y'all.